Yo, what up everyone? Crytek has given us a developer blog about the new Ping Based Matchmaking System that is currently in an experimental testing phase on live servers. In this video I'm gonna read the blog and later on share my thoughts on it. If you guys have read the blog post yourself already and don't want to listen to me yapping and only really care about my opinions, just skip to the later chapters where I talk about pros, cons and my opinion and changes I would like to see. Thank you for tuning in and I hope you enjoy the video. Hunters, last week we shared that we had been making adjustments to matchmaking, and today we want to talk more about what those changes were and what our plans will be moving forward. We saw that high ping players were presenting an issue for the community regularly. That's true. And as a result we began collecting and analyzing player data around ping during matchmaking. Our goal was to investigate potential solutions, and this data allowed us to work on identifying an ideal cutoff point for high ping on a per region basis. This means that we have to be able to experiment with refining the matchmaking experience to ensure fair connections for all players. Sounds good so far, honestly, sounds really good. To begin with, we investigated region locking for various servers, but we found the system too easy to circumvent using a VPN. Makes sense, that's what people do in other games. 2 weeks ago we tried introducing a new system that would separate any players with a ping above certain defined threshold from the rest. Here's how high ping separation works. Okay, now it gets interesting. When matchmaking begins, teams are evaluated based on the highest ping player on the team. If that highest ping player crosses the threshold, the entire team is considered high ping. Okay. High ping teams are then placed in a separate matchmaking pool where they will be matched against other high ping teams. Normal ping players continue to match the standard player pool, improving connection quality across those matches. Oh wait, does that mean that high ping players cause connection quality issues? Maybe? Just saying, like, the way they phrased it? If like low ping players improve connection quality, does that automatically also mean if you have like a lot of high ping players connecting to the server that messes with the connection quality? Because you guys know those instances when like sometimes we had like the issue where the server would start lagging heavily, like rubber banding, ice skating, whatever you want to call it, and then one team gets killed or extracts and then suddenly the server stabilizes again? Might be. If a high ping player is matchmaking solo or with randoms, they will also be sorted into the high ping pool. Makes sense. Makes sense. What counts as high ping? Isn't set in stone right now. We're experimenting with a starting threshold of 125, and I think that's a good way to balance that, but we will be testing slight shifts and variations as we gather more region-specific data. Based on what we have seen so far, we expect the final cutoff to sit somewhere between 100 and 150 ping. I think that is very fair. Depending on region. I also like that it's gonna be like different for different regions. You know, what is high ping on EU doesn't necessarily mean it's high ping on US West, as an example. Also, these changes are proving effective so far. There are still improvements to be made, and we plan to continue tweaking the system, monitoring results and refining matchmaking overall. With that in mind, we have a few changes in the pipeline that we will be trialing. Deactivating this matchmaking separation in Russian and South American servers. We have seen, due to location, infrastructure or other reasons, some players can't achieve better ping, so we will try creating safe space regions for those unable to improve. I think that's not a bad idea. Raising the initial high ping threshold from 125 to 140 as a pure experiment, this will help us better understand how small adjustments to the threshold impact matchmaking quality, player distribution and queue times across different regions. I think that is good because, for example, you know, like I said, especially in NA, like, you know, some people when they connect from like east to west, bad internet, maybe their ping is not 100, they can only get like something above, and each region having like their own high ping definition what a high ping is pretty good. Making these improvements means you may notice changes to your matchmaking experience over the coming weeks, but rest assured that the fluctuations are intentional with a good cause. It's also important to keep in mind that these changes will have the most impact during periods where active player count is at its peak. Also, the system may make wait times for some players slightly longer. At the moment, we will see more improvements when many players return for the next event. That is fair. Any issues that may arise as we continue to test and tweak the system will be closely monitored and resolved quickly as we fine-tune performance. As always, we appreciate your patience and hope that the new Hyping operation system will improve the overall hunt experience for everyone. Thank you, your Hunt Showdown 1896 team. Honestly, W. Alright, let's summarize real quick what they have told us. When matchmaking begins, teams are evaluated based on the highest ping player on the team. If that highest ping player crosses the threshold, the entire team is considered high ping. So, if you play with a high ping player, your entire team will be put in the high ping queue no matter what. This also counts for randoms. This will not be region orientated, aka no region locks. They tested it and it is impossible to do that due to players being able to use VPNs as a loophole. High ping teams are then placed in a separate matchmaking pool when they will be matched against other high ping teams. That means there will be two separate queues. If you end up in the high ping queues, that will sadly be automatically connected or like goes hands in hand with longer queue times, since there usually are less high ping players in a region than people on a lower ping. The high ping threshold will be somewhere between 100 to 150 milliseconds, but it will differ from region to region since some regions need a higher ping threshold. For example, 100 ping might be perfect for Europe, but on NA West and East it might be better to go with 120, just as an example. Numbers are obviously always adjustable, due to Canada and Central America sometimes suffering from bad routing issues. Russia and South American servers won't have a high ping queue due to their pure size and the regions having a lot of problems with routing issues in general. Even people in my community have said that even though they are from South America, they can't get less than 100 ping to South American servers, while the internet is 100% top of the line. Okay, let's talk about the ups and downsides of this change. And the changes I would like to see, or at the very least, should be considered. First of all, from my personal experience, I like this a lot. I play on European servers and sadly over the last 2 years there has been an annoyingly high influx of especially players from the Asian region on European servers. This has nothing to do with the country they are from, but it is impossible to deny that when I check where people are from, it is usually an Asian based country and they play simply on 200 ping or even higher, which is kinda frustrating to play against. I am fully aware that North America also has a lot of high ping players, but I promise you, at least in my 6-star elo matches on European servers, it was not rare for at least half the server to being connected from the opposite side of the world, which just makes it kinda like weird to even queue on European servers because I'm not doing anything wrong here. Why am I matched against a bunch of 200 ping players? I believe this system, when tweaked correctly, is an amazing feature to the game and I'm glad they went with this route instead of region locking. There 100% is a problem for players from niche regions like South Africa for example, or the Middle East. They do not have their own servers and for most of them, European servers are the lowest ping region available and they will automatically suffer from this system due to having a ping above the threshold. I personally would like to see a system in which, as long as you play on the lowest ping region available to you, that you get excluded from a high ping matchmaking queue. This would be completely fine since it would probably be a 1 out of 100 matches kinda occurrence. And the ping-based matchmaking is not targeted at those players who can't play without a high ping, but at the players who voluntarily choose to do so. I don't want people to not enjoy their game or even quit due to a change they can't do anything about. I do realize there would be a VPN loophole this way, but maybe with a slightly raised ping threshold for those kinda regions, this would be solvable. I am not 100% sure how realistic my idea is, but a man can dream. Second of all, I personally am not a fan of the highest ping player in your group determining if you end up in the high ping player queue, since over the last couple of years, a lot of friendships have been built within the hunt community that go far beyond people's home countries. And I dislike to see people get punished for playing with their friends. Maybe an average group ping should be considered, so when I, for example, want to play with a friend from California, we could play on European servers. Since my ping is below 20, their ping is 160, our combined ping would be 180, divided by 2, since we are playing a duo, it would be 90, and that would be under this. Maybe the system would need a limit lower than this threshold, aka if the European server threshold that is considered a high ping would be 120, maybe we should go 30 below, so the cutoff would be 90 ping, which would then allow me to play with my international friends, while reducing the possibility of people abusing the system to somehow get around this threshold, by for example inviting a 5 ping player just to push their ping down. But overall, I think this matchmaking system has great potential and I'm glad Crytek is taking this issue very seriously. The community has been complaining about high ping players for a long time, so I'm glad we are finally getting a solution to the problem. This was it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about the new system, and I'll talk to you guys next time.